Hello Tigers, I am Technical Sergeant MSgt Tucker from DOA, and today I have our first sergeant. This is MSgt Jackson, and today I'll be interviewing you so that Tigers can get to know a little bit more about you. Okay? So, number one, tell us a little bit about your Air Force career before you became a Tiger.
Wow, so I'm what you would call a knuckle dragger. I'm a rough and tumble, like, maintenance chick. But ground radar maintenance by trade, and then I've been a first sergeant, physical being a first sergeant with the Diamond since 2017. But I've been playing first sergeant since I was a staff sergeant. So my first sergeant was like, hey, there's something wrong with you. And I'm like, good. He's like, you have a spark. And I'm like, okay, that's even better. And then he just kind of took me under his wing. And this was back when I was stationed at Kadena. So I've always had, like, you know, first sergeants take me under their wing and kind of teach me the ropes every base I've been to after I was a staff sergeant. So it's been really cool.
If you say that you were, you know, chosen in a way, is it something that you wanted before, you know, your first sergeant?
Not really. I wanted to be a TI at one point in time, and I think them making me, you know, helping the first sergeant out was to keep me out of trouble and to keep me not to be so rough and tumble maintenance girl. So I think they were trying to polish, you know, smooth the rough edges of my personality. So what better way than to just take you under your wing and teach you how to kind of use your candor tactfully, if that makes sense.
Do you feel like you've mastered that?
Oh, absolutely not. That is a trait and a skill that I constantly practice every day. Because I will say what's on my mind, and sometimes I need to be able to kind of smooth that out for people.
I can relate. Okay. So my next question is, what is your leadership style and your philosophy? So we know you're rough and tough around the edges,
yeah.
But how does that play into your leadership style?
So leadership style for me is you always lead from here. It doesn't matter who you're dealing with, you lead from here. You can manage from here. We all manage from here because it's always about putting the widgets in the right place. Leading comes from here, so you have to care. If you don't care, then you're not going to lead. You're just going to manage. So my leadership style is more so I want to get to know the person, right? If I know what excites you and I know what drives you crazy, then we can mold those things and make you a better person. I like to build people in my image. So when I say squishy, I actually mean it. I want to take that person and say, okay, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses. And I want to build on both of those, right? Because you can always get stronger in your strengths, you can always get stronger in your weaknesses. And with the understanding that they understand their biases and know who they are as a person. So I always lead from here. Sometimes it comes off a little like angry mom because I'm leading from here, because I honestly do care. But that's my leadership style. That's how I was raised in the Air Force. I got in trouble a little bit, a lot more.
No.
But I would get in trouble and my supervisor would smack me across the head and be like, what are you doing? And that was because they honestly cared for me. I've talked to my very first supervisor is about to retire from his civilian position. And he hit me up an email the other day and was like, hey, you're still in the game. You want to come take my job? And I'm like, yeah, no, nope. But he was one of the first ones that kind of smacked me upside my head and was like, you need to fix this because you did this wrong. And it was cool. Like, he chewed me out and then he bought me lunch. So in that caring, I might get upset with you, I might fuss with you, I might be stern with you, but I'll take you out for ice cream afterwards and we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to lead from here. If you don't lead from here, all the stuff that's up here means nothing.
Good. I like it. So next, what do you love the most about being a first sergeant?
Oh. It's a love-hate relationship.
Okay, we can talk about the love and the hate. Let's talk about the love first.
I love interacting with people. That's the favorite part of my job, is the interaction, helping people out, fighting the good fight. I don't ever want to fight a tiger, I want to fight for tigers. So I love being able to make connections with people, calling in those favors at the last minute, because I talk to anybody. I will talk to strangers to get things done. So I love being able to assist somebody and get them where they need to go. I also love the part of my job where I get to empower you, right? Because if you call me and you have a problem, I'll be like, did you call somebody or am I your first stop? Because I really want to empower people to think outside the box. I want them to find those shades of gray within their battle space and use them. That's what I love about my job, is teaching and helping. Now, what I hate about my job is when I'm in this little box confined by the AFI where it says, you must, and you're like, oh, but I want to do something else. But that's the part that, it's a love because I get to help people, but it's also a hate because I have to figure out to maneuver around certain things. So To answer your question, I absolutely love helping and being a part of other people's lives. If I can help one person during the day, and it doesn't matter who it is, if I can help just one person and make their day a little bit better, even if they're just laughing at me being goofy, then it's worth it. It's totally worth it.
Awesome. Okay, so you talked about what you hate about it. So what is the most difficult part of your job, and how can the rest of the Tigers, the other 300 of us, make it easier for you?
Sometimes I feel like I need the rest of our airmen and our NCOs, I need you guys to take care of each other. Like, me as the first sergeant and the first sergeant office, we're only like 2 to 3 people any given day, right? We need you guys. We need you guys to take care of each other because you're always the first at the fire. The very first. Like, your airman is a part of your life. That is your family member. And I think the biggest thing that people don't understand is that every family is different, right? You have the family you were born into, you have the family that you may marry into, and you have the family that you chose. The Air Force is the family that you chose. And I need you to embrace each other like a family. Because if something goes down in our unit, I need to know that all of us are going to take care of each other. So that's what I need from like NCOs and airmen, is just taking care of each other. If you see your fellow airman doing something stupid, pull them off from the side, smack them across the head, and be like, don't do that.
Physically smack them.
I'm not saying to physically smack them. But if it happens, is it my fault?
I don't know, you're being recorded, so.
I always tell somebody when they say something to me, I'm like, roll up a newspaper, smack yourself on the nose. Don't do that again. So, but I need that loving embrace, right? I need that firm embrace to be like, hey, don't do that. And I also need that loving embrace, like, oh my God, you're having a really bad day. Let's sit down and talk about it. Because we're all Tigers. It doesn't matter if you're my direct supervisor or if I'm your direct supervisor, we're all Tigers. I need everybody to embrace each other. I don't care what flight, what section, whom you belong to on paper. We're all Tigers, and that's what I need. I think if we can just stop for a minute and help each other out, that's going to help out our office a lot better. But if we are just going in our own directions and we don't take time out to like at least grab somebody and take them with us, then we're going to miss out. And that makes my job harder. That makes the first sergeant's office job harder because we're not reaching out to each other.
So you said something in your answer. You said we're all Tigers. So my final question for you is, what does being a Tiger mean to you?
Being a Tiger, y'all are like the thuggiest, y'all are the thuggiest intel unit I've ever seen in my life.
Us?
Yes! The times before COVID, the time before, like, I don't even know what that is anymore, right? The time before, like, I love the fact that the Tigers roll deep. Like, we are a force to be reckoned with. And I love that. I love that togetherness. It sucks because COVID's taken some of that away from us. But being a Tiger, I picked this unit. This is the hardest unit on base. Make no mistakes about it. This is the hardest unit on Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. I picked this unit. I picked this unit because y'all roll deep. Because when y'all are really rolling together, y'all will take anybody on. And I love that. I love that kind of like, this is my family, we rolling that orange thug mentality. But I also like that y'all can get the mission done and still kick butts all across the world. It doesn't matter. That's what I love. That's what I love about being a Tiger, is the fact that we all have each other's back and we gonna roll deep. So I love the camaraderie in this unit, and I'm hoping that the times after COVID we'll be able to get back to that same camaraderie, because I think it's super important. As much as intel folks say that they're not people, they are people. They just are not outward people. So I like this unit. I remember when I first got to this base and I heard that chant, I was like, oh, where am I? I need to be one of them. And 4 years later, this is where I ended up.
Well, we are really happy to have you. Do you have any parting words or care to explain the situation here?
This is my invisible jet. My Wonder Woman, my invisible jet. Every office I've ever been in, I take her with me. She is like my saving grace, because sometimes when my maintenance comes out, I gotta look over there and be like, and she's like, don't do it. I'm like, okay, I won't do it. But it's kind of funny because my first unit here was an aircraft maintenance unit, so hence the invisible jet. So it makes it all perfect. But I have always wanted to be Wonder Woman since I was about this big. I dressed up like Wonder Woman when the movie came out and went to the theater. So when the next movie comes out, I'll do the same thing. If anybody needs to see the first 3 seasons of Wonder Woman, I have it on DVD.
You purchased that?
Way back in the 70s? Absolutely, I purchased that. That is my childhood. I'm not that old. So I was little when it came out. Very, very little. But I have it. Okay, yeah, Wonder Woman's my thing. So when we get back to some resemblance of normal, I will dress up like Wonder Woman again and go see the movie.
Do you feel like Wonder Woman is kind of part of your personality, especially as a church?
Absolutely, absolutely, because I can do anything. I can do anything, and I can get you to tell me the truth by hook or by crook, so.
Okay. For the record, I've not told any lies in the time that we've sat here, so.
Nor have I, so we're good, see? No
Awesome.
lots of the truth required.
Well, thank you, ma'am, for your time.
Thank you.
Any final words?
Just take care of each other.
We can do that.
Take care of each other because this is the family you chose. So you're responsible for this family. I don't care who it is. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're supervisor, section chief, or whatever. Whoever that tiger is, that's your tiger. Doesn't matter. That's your tiger. So take care of each other and just have fun. Whatever you do, no matter what you do, no matter how dumb it is, have fun. You only get one life. Have fun doing it. That's all I got.
Easy. Well, Tigers, this has been a quick minute. It wasn't really quick.
No.
With
Where's it ever quick with me?
with Master Sergeant Jackson. It's been a pleasure again. I'm Technical Sergeant Tucker, and signing off.
I don't know which camera to look at, so I'm just going to wave all together.
In your satin tights, fighting for your rights, and the old red, white, and blue.